Hello and welcome to another wonderful episode of Toy Artist Spotlight, or Toy Art Interview, Toy Artist Interview. I'm kind of messing with the titles right now. But anyway, anyone who's here, thank you so much. I see Fred and RJ and Go Figure Go. Linda's here, Letty's here, Anela's here, J2 Trippin' with Toys, Poncho. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being here. There's already 21 people here. Oh my gosh, you're amazing. And this is going to be an awesome episode. I got a really awesome dude here I'm going to talk with. And if anyone's wondering, how do I get on one of these Toy Art Spotlight interviews? All you got to do is, if you joined the membership below, one of the perks of the master tier is to get on the show in Toy Art Spotlight. So, and it's been amazing, and I'm so incredibly grateful for everyone who's done this and who's watching, and it's just like so cool. So, and I'm having a blast with these. So anyway, I'm done talking. So please give it up for my good friend John here, Emerald Knight Photos himself. John, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. Doing good.
That's great. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for everything that you do. I'm super happy to talk to you tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep. I think so.
Cool. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me a little bit about John and a little bit about Emerald Knight Photos.
About John. So I think I mentioned in our chat was actually I'll turn 40 on this Saturday. So this Saturday will be my birthday, my 40th birthday.
Well,
so
happy early birthday, and you do not look like I was gonna say we're probably the same age, or I'm.
Thank you.
Seriously, I'm not even lying. That's awesome. Well, don't look a day over 30. That's for sure.
Appreciate that. But turned 40. Lived in Texas my whole life. I think I'm actually the first person I've seen. The past spotlight interviews and kind of around the California, East Coast, I think Canada as well, and I think I'm your first Southwest.
First Texan.
Yep, Texan. Married to a beautiful wife, supportive wife, and she appreciates, or she doesn't get it a lot, but she doesn't give me a hard time about it. She truly is a supporting wife, and that's why I married her.
That's great.
So as far as that, I've been a collector off and on. Like I said, I think because I was born in '82, that's I'm a little biased as far as that being like a good generation to grow up in as far as toys and kind of understanding and getting exposed to these franchises. So as you can see, like I've always been a big Master Universe, but there's Thundercats, there's real Ghostbusters, there's all these different franchises. So, being liking toys and being a action figure collector, that's always been kind of like with me and stuff. So growing up,
definitely, I totally had the idea. I was like, he's got to be an '80s kid, just judging by the characters he's using, and he's got to be an '80s kid.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so that's pretty much like the whole gamut as far as just being born in '82 and going all the way through the '90s. I think by '92, '93, when Power Rangers came out, that was kind of like might be getting a little too old, and
Gotcha.
Kind of stopped collecting or stopped, being involved. But then years later, when I got a little bit older, like in high school, that's when me and my dad realized, wait a minute, some of these old action figures, they're worth money, like the old Star Wars action figures. Like my brother, he's 9 years older than me, and that was his kind of like his generation. He went to go see the first Star Wars, the original trilogy, and then right around that time is when a new Phantom Menace was coming out, and so it was like a new influx of Star Wars toys. So we're like, oh man, we gotta get that, we gotta get on that and buy all these figures. So kind of like my resurgence, but that was more of a collecting and keeping them mint on card and having all of these, just everything just like boxed up and stored, and then that kind of just I kind of outgrew that again, and then my 20s I kind of like, well, again I'm kind of in that phase like, I'm getting a little too old for toys, or I shouldn't be having all that stuff around. But then as I get older again, like in my 30s, I realized, you know what, I like collecting, I like having, and that's when I actually got involved in where I started seeing Hot Toys and seeing those. I was like, wow, these are amazing. So I can really, that's what kind of got me sucked back in. That and NECA, seeing the NECA figures. It's just seeing the the articulation, the likenesses, everything just being amazing with those. So that kind of pulled me back in, and then just recently, kind of really got back into 112. When really because of the He-Man resurgence, the Netflix show that came out last year, and then Masterverse, being basically launching last year, and kind of just reinvigorating my love for He-Man. 'Cause that's always going to hold a special place in my heart. Because essentially, that was my first action figure line. I mean,
right.
I inherited. My brother had it first, and then he kind of outgrew that, like in like the early '80s, and then I kind of just he gave them to me, but then I kind of carried that because He-Man pretty much ran the '80s. I mean, pretty much from '82 to '89, it was just all He-Man. But as far as collecting, that's kind of like, kind of my whole kind of small history. So yeah, just kind of all over the place. But yeah, just now I'm kind of at a place where like, yeah, I like to, I like collecting figures, and that kind of segues into like the toy photography and all night photo. Because essentially, because originally my trajectory, growing up, before I, landed my normal job I've had for like almost 20 years now, was actually because I'm an IT manager for a retail company. So
okay.
been doing that for about 20 years. So,
awesome.
My original like path was like I wanted to be in videography, film, cinematography, that kind of avenue.
Cool.
So I was always a huge movie buff. Love film, just love them, watching behind the scenes. Nowadays, not so much, just because things have kind of like changed as far as what's considered, you know, art and stuff like that as far as films. Because I grew up with Clerks, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, like indie movies that are kind of like cutting edge, pretty, well-made films. But that's kind of like what I wanted to do, and then I kind of invested in that. I wanted to really just go forward and do that path. And originally my Emerald Knight was going to be Emerald Knight Productions, and that was going to be like my production company I was going to start up. And the Emerald Knight is because I've always been a Green Lantern fan, so that's where that came. So I was a big Green Lantern fan in the the '90s, because this may be controversial, but I was a big Kyle Rayner fan version of that. That was pretty much the Green Lantern I grew up with, was Kyle Rayner. And so that was like, okay, well, I want to come up with a cool production name and like something that sticks, or something that's also personal too. It's like, so Emerald Knight, yeah, it's like that's Green Lantern.
That's perfect.
So I kind of was like doing that a little bit. Then I needed something. I needed to find a real job. So, but that kind of helped me with my lighting, with kind of like saying, I understood. I learned some of the aspects with filmmaking. As far as photography, or how depth of field works, how lighting works, 3-point lighting, all those aspects.
Definitely.
So I kind of got a head start. And now, just with toy photography, that kind of came about just because I really just started that just to kind of, seeing your stuff, going on Instagram and just seeing these photos and like just being like, wow, being mesmerized. People creating art with their figures. And then, but it's also kind of like the way I look at it, it's just kind of going back to when I was little and playing with my action figures. Because I was actually like, I would be so immersed with them and creating scenes, like doing full out scenes with my G.I. Joes, with my He-Man, with, my Superman action figures. And now, that's essentially what I do whenever I'm doing any kind of shooting, which is just like, yeah, let me see what this, let me put Superman over here and have Darkseid over here, and let's just, like in my head, I'm playing out a scene as if, it was on a show or in a movie or something.
It's like the perfect amalgamation of the two, like, passions you just talked about. It's like, well, I really wanted to be a cinematographer, just really into that kind of thing, and I was, always into collecting, and I love He-Man. It's like, well, okay, well, here you go. Here's the perfect little, the perfect amalgamation of that. That's so cool. It's the perfect, like, end, well, not end, but perfect kind of climax of your story, and it's cool because you can really tell that kind of stuff with your lighting and that kind of thing. And so you got into toy photography. Was it this year?
Yeah, I started in February, and
that's crazy.
And I think what really kicked it off was when I got the my first actual photo was with I got the Storm Collectibles Subzero Scorpion, which
those are awesome.
they are. So I was like, oh man, it's like these would look great, like taking a photo of them. Because I think I've seen a couple people on Instagram already with taking photos of those guys. And I was like, oh man, it's like yeah, I want to try that. I want to try taking a photo of it. And yeah, if you go back and see, and I think this is everybody that's been on here. It's like if you go back and look at the earlier stuff, it's just like, oh, you cringe because it's just like, what was I thinking? Like what? Like why did I do that? Or why did
It's the same. We're all the same way. We're all the same way. Trust me. But before I do get into any of the specific shots, I do want to just say, if you're not already, you have to be following John right here. Emerald Night Photos. Emerald Night Photos. Super easy to remember. I gotta get rid of that face over there. That's in the way. Yes, please. He's at 475 right now. Let's give him to 500. Let's get him to the big 500 tonight. So 475 right now. I want to see at least one more since I just mentioned that. Come on. 478. That's what I want to see right there.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Keep bumping it up, everybody. And so also this looks like Snapphase seems to be in the live chat. Kind of in the same boat with you with He-Man. He says He-Man figs were the only ones I had as a kid, but don't have any now. Well, I think you're inspiring Snapphase to get some new He-Man figures.
Yeah, I mean it's an amazing line. I mean, I know some people complain about certain aspects about it, but it's like I'm impressed with them. I mean, I told my wife, I was like, man, that's like, I mean, I won't go too far into I won't as far as like collecting or building, but I'm going all in with the Masterverse. Like I'm going all in and
this is
everything.
This is a line that I'm almost completely not unfamiliar with, but I know nothing about. I see them in the store and I'm like, cool, these guys look really. And so this is a Thundercat. This is not a Masterverse, but that's how disconnected I am. I'm trying to find. These are the Thundercats. Just trying to find an example of. Okay, well let's just pull him up. But this is from that line, right?
Actually, that's Mondo. That's their I think SG 1/6 scale He-Man.
Oh, so well, he looks fantastic.
Oh yeah. I definitely, that was an instant like, yep, I'm getting that.
All right. Okay, here we go. These guys.
Yeah.
So who makes this? Isn't Mattel, is it?
Yeah, it's Mattel.
Oh, it is Mattel. Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of had the feeling, and I feel like Mattel has always done it, right? Even back in the day.
Yeah. They've always from the very beginning. I mean, really started. Yeah, Mattel, just a couple guys just. I've seen tons of documentaries around the making of like the whole history behind Masters and everything. So yeah, it's just a bunch of stuff they just came up with. I mean, they're trying to. I mean, they couldn't do Conan because Conan, was an R-rated movie, so they couldn't really make action figures out of it. So it's like, well, let's just come up with our own kind of version of that, and there you go. You have He-Man, and just a lot of stuff they just made up on the spot.
Wow.
So
what a just inspiring thing. And look at it now, and so much to the point where it inspired kids that are now full grown adults. That's so cool. And I know nothing about He-Man and a lot of 80s stuff just because I'm a 90s kid, but every time I see these guys in the store, I will take a look at them. I'm like, they look really good. They look good, and I really like the packaging. Looks legit too. Like, packaging goes a long way. When it looks legit, it makes me think like this figure is probably legit. So hands off to them. And so this line started only last year, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I think it was started last year to kind of coincide with the Netflix shows that were coming out. So
right. I do remember seeing that. I'm like with He-Man. I know nothing. I did, however, watch a good amount of Thundercats growing up because I don't remember what it was, but there was a time where like that was the only thing on for me, and that's the only I don't know what channel it was on. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch Thundercats, even though this is an old show, me being a little kid, but I still loved it. And I remember the one specific thing I remember is what's the main character's name?
Lionel.
And I remember one time some enemy couldn't like his sword wouldn't do the extending thing, the thunder, and he put the sword when it was still short toward like to the guy's neck, and he said thunder, and I was like, whoa. He was about to extend the sword into his neck, but it didn't work because of the bad guy.
Right.
And I just remember thinking like, whoa, that would have been like intense if that actually happened, but it didn't actually happen.
Yeah.
But that's the one thing that's stuck in my memory. So I'm going way back to the beginning here, and going way back, and everyone starts somewhere, and it's not even that you've like you look back at these old photos and you're like, ugh, because these photos are great, and they're like this shot right here. This is a fantastic shot. There's great like storytelling and like depth, and like even the lighting is great.
Funny story around that, because of I first started just taking pictures with my iPhone, and my wife actually she's a she does photography. She takes great pictures. I mean, and mostly like landscape and kind of outdoorsy pictures. Like whenever we go hiking, or whenever we go out someplace, she always takes her camera and takes beautiful pictures. And so she was like, just use my camera, because I was taking photos with my iPhone. I was like, they're not coming out that good, so just take because she has a Nikon D3300. And so I was like, okay, I'll use that. And that was the first one I took with her camera.
Oh, nice.
Like, that's not, I'm using this now. This is gonna be our camera now.
Nice. Yeah.
Immediately saw the difference from between, even though I have the iPhone 13, even though it still has a good lens on it, I can immediately know the difference from using going from that to DSLR. So
is that the camera you're still using now?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I've had that moment too when you take that first photo with like a not phone, and it's just like it's like mind blowing. You're like, wow, this is so cool. Like it's, and this is great and nice. Is this a background replacement you did with this one too?
Yeah, that was like my first. I think that was my first ad with Photoshop, and just playing around with layering and just like throwing something back there. And then, of course, I was like, oh wow, I was like, I can't believe I did that. I mean, it looks kind of, cheesy now, but it's just
doesn't.
I'm like, this is pretty awesome. Being able to do this, within Photoshop. So
yeah, it looks like what's the realm? It's like Outworld. Is that
Outworld? Yeah.
It looks like Outworld, and it actually reminds me of in I think it's the first movie where they're in Outworld and they fight Reptile, the Mortal Kombat movie, in the sky. It makes me think of that part of the movie very much, which is awesome. And whether you think of those movies fondly or not, that is a compliment for sure, because I love those old movies.
Oh yeah.
So this is your first shot.
Yeah.
This is like the best first shot I've ever seen. Like,
oh, thank you.
I'm not even like, it's really cool. Like, your pose is really cool. It's very much like a Subzero pose. Your environment is awesome. Your diorama's really cool, and the lighting is cool. Like the lighting coming out, and you've got some great like rim lighting around. Like, this is awesome. This is the best like first photo ever.
Appreciate it. And that's kind of what got it started too as well. I forgot to mention that, because I ordered this diorama off of I think it was eBay, and I was really just going to use that to display these storm collectibles, and kind of just in my room and stuff. And I was like, okay, I'll just do that. But then I was like, as I started seeing more people doing toy photography and just seeing examples of people using diorama, I was like, well, let me try that. Let me just get a table like just shoot it from both sides. And because I mean the diorama has the colored glass in there, so didn't need to get any gels or anything for lights. Just shoot light into both windows, get a little front light going, and then took a picture with my phone, and that was it.
That's awesome. And like, seriously, this is 1,000 times more of a pleasing looking photo than my first toy photo. My first many toy photos, I'll say that for sure. So you had a lot going for you, for sure. And so it's cool, like, you start, and this is only in February, so we're not even a year in. So like February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So you're only on 8 months of doing this. That's incredible. And you can, so like, you keep scrolling up, and these photos are awesome. They're looking really good, and you see your collection starting to grow. and
Yeah.
and
That's the thing, yeah.
yeah, and now I'm starting to see like, okay, like everything's still looking great, but I'm seeing some more like cool, like creative kinds of angles and stuff. And then there's one point where I can just see this massive just jump in like in everything, and like lighting, and I'm trying to find that exact spot here. And are you coming to say hi?
Yeah.
We have a the token Harleen. Do you have a question yet?
I don't. I was nodding off upstairs, and there's like a squeaking noise that I can't like ignore, so I can't really do anything.
Oh, why don't you go draw or something?
I was trying to. It's too distracting.
Oh, sorry. It's probably the ceiling fan.
Ew.
She has a new fart machine.
Ew. Those are real.
Um,
Ew.
but thanks for the. Go think of a question to ask.
Ew. Disgusting.
Well, anyway, so there is this very specific point where I can see like, wow, like you can see, you know what? I feel like maybe this is it right here. Like the lighting, like, and everything is just there's this huge step up. Like this shot is freaking awesome. Maybe I don't know what it is, or it's like something clicked, and there's just this. I don't know what it is. Maybe it is the lighting. I don't know what it is. Hey, Toy Stories. But if anyone else is here in the live chat, please let me know if you're seeing this exact same, like, this jump in lighting. Like, here it is on this one, too. I don't know if it's just, like you did one thing and it just, like, you noticed the click.
Some of those, because I mean, as I've gone through, I've gotten more, gear and stuff. I think one thing I did purchase was a kind of like, it's like a boom arm. So basically what I can do is get a tripod and attach that boom arm so it kind of comes across, and I can put a light across. So I got like a ring light, and that kind of gives me like kind of overflow and kind of give me an even light across, and then I can come in with kind of accent lighting.
I see.
So
Definitely.
before it was always tough to kind of fill in like I use a lot of extreme sets and trying to get everything evenly lit for the background or kind of areas I want kind of light to come from. So I think around that time, I got that boom arm and kind of started having light come up pretty high up top to kind of get like an overall like overflow, and then kind of come in with accent lighting on the sides or behind, or spotlights right in front. So
before then, you were kind of using your lights to like, okay, I need to like accent light and kind of get creative lighting on the figure, and that was your main. So now you're able to do that plus light your environment the way you want it to. So that maybe that's it, because I think it's definitely that's awesome. Like you can see that. Maybe that's what it is, or who knows, but it looks amazing. Like this one, like yeah, I can see everything is well lit, but the green, the way you have the green place is perfectly helping to accentuate the figure. Like all the basically his muscles, look really good in this. Oh, Letty, thanks for coming. See you later.
Yep. See ya.
And hey Ben, I see you in there too. Everyone else is being awesome in the live chat. Thank you guys. But yeah, I think that's got to be what it is. And here we go. Here's the Emerald Knight himself.
Yeah, finally. It's like, yeah. Even though Green Lantern's my favorite, it's like I haven't really picked up any figures. So, but once I saw this on pre-order, I was like, oh yeah, I definitely gotta get that.
Yeah.
It's like that's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I need to take more photos of him, but yeah, that was definitely gonna be a pickup and kind of like again my mascot for my logo or for my name.
Yeah, and this is a good looking figure too. I was not I was very anxiously, because I'm a big Green Lantern fan too, but I'm a more of a Hal Jordan guy. But I wasn't too happy when they finally put out a Hal Jordan figure. I was like, all right, he looks good, but he just kind of, I don't know, he just looks like a very generic looking Hal Jordan, not like a Hal Jordan from something specific, like from any comic. It's just like, here's a Hal. I don't know, but Kyle Rayner looks great.
The 2-pack, the Blackest Night with that, I think it's with Batman. Is that the?
There's the 2-pack with Hal Jordan, and it's the Dark Knight's Metal, the Bruce Wayne Metalverse.
Oh.
I don't remember his name. Forgettable guy, but yeah, it came with him. But he looks good. This whole wave with him is just, this is the first time I've ever wanted to get a whole wave with all the Blackest Night stuff. But so speaking of the Emerald Knight, before I go any further, because this is the perfect segue, tell me about your shirt that you have.
Oh. Well, I just like, I don't know. I was kind of taking a cue from you. Just I think you had a video out, or you're, just like, I guess how to market yourself, or how to kind of maybe earn income, or just kind of just get yourself out there more.
Yep.
So I don't know. I thought it was always cool, just like, because I found somebody hit me up on Instagram just randomly, like, hey, see your page, and we do graphics, stuff like that. And I was like, kind of, it's probably just spam, whatever. But then I started kind of talking to them some more, and like, yeah, we can do a graphic for you, pretty decent, pretty cheap, or for a decent price. So I thought, okay, yeah, kind of just what I'm thinking about, and whatnot. So he came back and I saw it, like, oh yeah, that's nice. So it's like, yeah, cool. I have like a little logo, and then I just went on Uber Prints after that, like maybe a couple weeks afterwards, and then just had them printed. Had a couple of them, and I was like, yeah, it's kind of cool just to have walk around logo on there.
It's so, and they did a great job. They definitely did a really great job, because I mean, this looks like you.
Yeah.
And so
they actually,
sorry.
It's One Up Graphics, so they're the ones that did the logo. So
okay, awesome. And what figure are you holding?
I don't know. They just grabbed, I guess, because it's supposed to be a knight. I guess they took so I was like, yeah.
I see.
So I was gonna do. Kind of saw a couple with He-Man, with a couple, and this and that. I was like, oh no, because I want to kind of accentuate the Emerald Knight part of it, because that kind of goes back to the logo I had before. Because I had, when I was Emerald Knight Productions, and again, this is like early 2000s. I was fresh out of high school and just working with probably Microsoft Paint. But I was gonna have like all I took was like a photo of a knight and just paint him green, and then that was gonna be my anything I did for video production.
Oh, you know what? I feel like I remember that. I feel like I remember seeing that. Like, I remember that logo of yours. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, cause I posted some stuff way back when, but it's just like, yeah, it's been years ago. But yeah, that was kind of like, that was gonna be my logo. So I was like, okay, I dig that, because it kind of looks like that, and also it kind of looks like Boba Fett, Mandalorian, or even the Green Ranger. So it's kind of like a mixture of all that kind of put together. So I was like, yeah, that works.
What I was thinking is he kind of looks like the robots from Mortal Kombat, like Sector and Cyrax and Smoke. But I was like, there isn't a green one. Why isn't there?
No, it's not.
I mean, at least I don't know of one. But I was like,
well, I guess because maybe. Well, I guess because you got.
Did they do a reptile version?
I think they ever did. They should though.
I was say, I mean, that would be an easy like reskin, because they've done that so many times in Mortal Kombat. But who knows? Maybe in the next one. That's what I was thinking. But no, I think the logo is cool, and it's something. It's definitely cool to have that kind of like, I don't know, like your brand like identity. Like, I was super excited when I figured out this logo guy. So, yeah, I just think that's really cool. I think that's really awesome. So okay, I'm gonna go back over to where I was last with. I love this shot too. You did this for the America challenge. I love this photo, and it's very different than your usual. I don't know. It's different from your usual kind of style.
Yeah, that was a. That was a quick and dirty type of deal. Just because I wanted to be, I wanted to meet the challenge in time, and I think I barely made it. But that was just me on the floor. Well, also like twofold. I mean, also want to do it for 4th of July as well. Post something on Instagram for that. Right. But I was like here in my room. Just I put a monitor. I use a monitor for a lot of my digital backdrops and stuff. So I just like threw it on the floor, had it there, because we had family coming in. So it's like my mom was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I just need to take a photo real quick." So I just like grabbed my Hot Toys, Christopher Reeve, Superman, just like threw it on there, put the background, took a couple photos, and then like, all right. So real freaking dirty, but I think I got the whole gist of it. Was kind of redoing that photo of Christopher Reeve that I had on my wall growing up. So that was always cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
What a cool poster this would have. Can you imagine just like going to some old thrift store and finding this photo or this poster? I would instantly get that. That's so cool. That's such a great poster. And so I do want to mention, Go Figure Go in the live chat says Reptile wouldn't be a are they called cybernetic ninjas? Because he's not from Earth. All the cybernetic ninjas are from Earth. All right, there you go. Because I know like Smoke and Sector Cyrex, they all used to be ninjas before they became robots. I do remember I played most of those games, but
yeah.
And Amar, a theme. Thanks so much for being here, my friend. And,
nice.
And also, Poncho Studio says, I want to say amazing job to Emerald Knight photos. See you guys later. Thanks, Poncho.
Oh, yeah, thanks for coming out.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And everyone else who's here, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. You're the man. And if you are enjoying this, please drop a quick like on the video. That would be awesome. Liking the video helps get it to more people. More people can find John's work that way. So it's good. It's good for everybody, for sure. So, and here's the Emerald Knight himself. And oh man, how cool would this be? This is just like yeah. I mean, I wonder if we'll ever see a Green Lantern with this Justice League. Oh, actually, with this Batman, but maybe one day.
Yeah, that's kind of like, again, with toy photography, that's kind of like you kind of just make your own world. So it's like, I mean, nothing against the Ben Affleck Batman, but it's like, well, that'd be kind of cool. Well, I finally got my hands on that the Pattinson Batman, so like, well, I just kind of just want to use him for shots.
Yeah,
I'll just swap him out here. So he fits in. I mean, it looks like he could work with with that Snyderverse Justice League. So
absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. That's one of the coolest parts about toy photography. Like you said, you can make your own world, and that's what you did. So tell me about the dioramas that you're using. And I see this one maybe a couple times in here. Which diorama is this?
I think that's the Command Center set from Extreme Sets. That's the second one I got. So the first one I got was the dungeon, I guess it's called the dungeon. That's actually from Diorama Prints.
Oh, okay, Diorama Prints. Okay, they're really cool.
Yeah, and real easy too. I mean, I kind of just real easy to just pop up and set up. But yeah, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, that's graceful. That's definitely I can use that for all kinds of stuff for masters and be able to set up shots real quick. And
definitely
it's funny because it goes again, referring back to childhood. I mean, that's what I was. I mean, these are well made, but they're also just cardboard.
Yeah,
and it's just it goes back because I would do that with cardboard boxes. I would draw like stuff if I didn't. Like I wanted the certain things, and my dad was like, "Oh no, it's too expensive," or we just wait till Christmas, wait till your birthday, like the Ghostbuster Firehouse or a G.I. Joe Command Center or whatever. But I would take boxes that we had, and I would draw and cut out stuff and make it out of that.
Yep.
And that would be this is my Command Center. I would make my own kind of just sets with cardboard boxes, and just that would be my. So it's surreal because it's like, oh yeah, it's kind of really going back to my childhood. I'm playing with cardboard, I'm setting stuff up. And
yep,
like,
that's so cool. Yeah, so much of I feel like the root and inspiration for toy photography for probably all of us is it starts with some kind of nostalgia, like being like, man, like I wish I could have done this when I was a kid, like this. It's just there's so much nostalgia there. So what diorama is this, if it is one?
So that's actually a backdrop that I use for a digital backdrop, and those are actually trees that I made maybe a month ago.
Oh, nice.
So cause that was one thing that I've been looking for the longest. I've wanted to do more woodsy type photography because being here in Texas, I mean, shooting outside, it's just not an option. At least not in summer. I mean, triple digits, and it's just like, yeah. I tried doing a couple times. Yeah, I mean, when it's 103 outside, it's not it's not viable.
Yeah.
Which stinks because there's a lot of great areas around here I could shoot in, but it's just too hot. So I was like, I wanted to do more woodsy type of photography, and I tried doing a couple test shots with like branches I found and stuff like that. Just didn't really have the right kick, and then go on Etsy, go on eBay, trying to buy dioramas. I was like, oh man, it's like I'm already, it's just some of them are pretty expensive.
Right.
So really just I went on YouTube and just found a couple of people, just on how to make it.
Awesome.
And I mean, pretty much it's just all I did was take a paper towel roll, once it was empty, wrapped it with aluminum foil to kind of get some of the the kind of creases, put masking tape over that, and then just took some Elmer's glue, a mixture, and then put some paper towels in there, and then just covered it up. Let it dry.
Wow.
And then just put a spray painted black, and then just got some acrylic paint for brown and brown white. Just paint it up, and then I was able to get a little tree.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's so cool. And it's all of those things are like stuff people already have. Like so many times, like you hear about. I mean, there's a lot of DIY kinds of things you could do with toy photography and making dioramas, and not all of them are just literally household items. Paper towel roll, masking tape, and tin foil, and then some. So that's so cool, so inspiring, and they look fantastic. And some of the greens hanging down, what'd you use for those?
That's just going to Hobby Lobby and Michael's, and just going to the plant section thing and just picking them up, and just so instead of paying $70, which again I think they're the work that I see on Etsy and stuff like that, it's amazing, but it's like kind of want to save a couple bucks, so it's like, well, I mean, just go the cheap route, and then
Definitely.
still, I mean, does the job. I think just pretty well.
Oh, absolutely. It definitely does more than does the job. It looks fantastic, and it works for multiple different things. Awesome. Yeah, and this is definitely at the point where you can just see the lighting and everything. Like, okay, so this shot might be one of my favorites. Tell me about this explosion and the lighting and how you pulled this shot off.
I've been wanting to make my own fireball, but that I went ahead and just that wasn't I found a fireball on eBay for a decent price, and so I just went ahead and got that. So it's just things made out of acrylic, kind of plastic, and then you just plug it in and it lights up.
Oh, cool.
And so yeah, pretty pretty nice. And I just got on Crocmaster. I wasn't gonna go down the classified route, but even though I love GI Joe, but I'm waiting until the Super 7 Ultimates come out. I'm going that way, just because they're classifieds are nice, but it's like I think Super 7 really they really scratch that itch as far as tune accurate figures, and that's kind of what I'm looking for.
Right.
So.
Okay. Cool.
But Crocmaster, yeah, obviously he wasn't in the cartoon, so it's he was one of my favorites growing up, so I gotta get him. It's like he's amazing. And then I just kind of set that up, and then set some lights off to the side, and kind of got the fireball itself kind of just provided its own backlight. I mean, it looks amazing.
Oh,
and then,
yeah.
And then just again just got some fill light in, and then just took a shot, and I was like, oh, that's nice. And then a couple of it's just, I think everybody kind of goes through this with photography. It's like, I don't know, first couple of shots didn't come out right, and then it's like, because I'm here in my little back cave, and I sat down and I kind of looked at one angle, like kind of just turned over and looked, and I was like, wait a minute, if I shoot from this angle, maybe this will be a lot better. So I kind of got up, moved my tripod camera and everything, and I took it, and I was like, oh, that's it. That's
awesome.
I took a couple other shots at different exposures and everything, just to kind of have something to play with, and then I was like, that's it.
Awesome.
So
yeah, sometimes sometimes the thought of redoing a shot is like dreadful. You're like, oh, I don't want to have to redo all of this. Like
right.
That happens to me all the time, and I hate doing it. But then afterwards, I go and do it, and I'm like, okay, this is what I didn't like last time. I'm gonna specifically work on those, and it's always so worth it, because in the end, the redone photo is like, it's always like a step up, and you learn from it. So like redoing a shot, if you don't want to do it, sometimes feels like it sucked, but it's always worth it. Definitely go for it.
Yeah, definitely recommend that. And it's funny because as I mentioned earlier, I started using my wife's camera, and just understanding the settings of it. I actually downloaded the PDF of her camera and kind of was like just trying to understand, okay, where's everything at? How do I, because I like to do everything manual, and a lot of a lot of stuff on there was automatic, just because it's easier to kind of run and gun and shoot like that.
Right.
So, but I just prefer manual, focus, manual, exposure, everything. So, and a lot of my earlier photos were still coming out grainy. I could not figure out why. And then there was one of your videos you were talking about, getting like one of your older videos about just different camera settings, and then you mentioned the ISO. I was like, I think I have my ISO pretty low, but then when I looked into Lightroom, and what's cool about Lightroom, you can go back and look at in your photos and see what the things are. I was like, oh, wait a minute, this was like a way high ISO, and that's probably why it's still kind of grainy. So I went in there, read up on, okay, where do I change it? Maybe it's set to auto, and it was. So I changed it to manual. Immediately, I dropped it down to, I usually shoot at 100, between 100 and 300, and immediately I noticed all the difference. But it sucks because it's like, oh man, there's so many of these other photos that came out kind of grainy that could have came out a lot better and crisper. If I had the ISO set up correct. But I mean, some of them, it just gives me opportunity to kind of just revisit that, and then maybe change the lighting, change certain things. With now I have a understanding of the settings of it now. So
that is so cool. That's well, I'm glad the video helped. Thanks for watching it. But awesome. That's so cool. And like, yeah, I've totally been there too, where it's just like, you kind of like that. There's so many great moments like that where you learn something new, and it's like, wow, if this would have been, I wish I, like, you go back to photos that you really like that you took a while ago, and like, wow, this could have been even better if I.
Right.
So yeah, totally. Absolutely. And Fred has a really good point in the chat. He says sometimes the grain is good. You're absolutely right, Fred. And there have been times where I've gone in and I've added grain in Photoshop because I was like, this would be nice with a little bit. You're definitely right, Fred, for sure.
Oh yeah.
But I do want to really mention that the lighting is really cool, just coming from this explosion thingy. And you said you bought this explosion from
it was on eBay. Well, I think it's like, I think he has a store on eBay and Etsy. I can't remember the name. But he has quite a bit. It was for a decent price. But I couldn't get around to make. I really wanted to do a fireball shot. It's just something I've been itching for to do because I've seen a lot of people on Instagram and even in our Discord and everything having doing fireball shots. And a lot of times that's like using cotton,
right,
with paint and stuff, and then you put the light behind it, and it just kind of just looks like looks like an explosion. But this person did an amazing job, and he has different variations too, like where you can actually see the stuff kind of shooting out from the fireball, like maybe shrapnel or something, or smoke. So it's real cool.
Cool. I was gonna ask what's this one made out
of? I think it's polyurethane.
Okay.
And just has a bulb underneath it, but it's just. Yeah, I think that's why something like that's a little bit better, because I think it was First Strike or somebody on our Discord. I think he mentioned like they using cotton balls, it gets too hot, or it can be kind of dangerous with the hot lights behind it. Other things could be like a little too too dangerous to be using. So at least for a long period of time. This, I mean, you could plug it in and have it on for a long time. So
cool. That's awesome. And I do also want to say that. G.I. Joe is another intellectual property I'm pretty unfamiliar with, and I know, but I think of all the ones that like I didn't grow up with G.I. Joe, but I think G.I. Joe is really cool, and the new figures coming out are awesome. And when I saw this guy, I was like, oh, he is so cool, like, because I love just alligators and stuff, and I was like, that's so cool, and I almost want to buy him just so I can get the figure of the alligator. He's so awesome. I just want him. Like, he's so cool.
Yeah, and and I think I see a couple YouTube videos, reviews or unboxing of him, and I forgot who it was, but they made the comment of like, oh, well, he doesn't even like, besides from the Cobra, but yeah, you can you can fit him into kind of like anywhere. It's almost like he's mutant like, and you can put him with any kind of line, and he kind of like fits in like as some big bad for your photos and stuff. Especially with the alligator and stuff. So
yeah, I feel like that's the case with a lot of the G.I. Joe unclassified. They kind of work with other stuff. They sometimes like a lot of the like, I don't know the characters, but some of the ones that are masked, they look like kind of like just like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just like nameless kind of goons, like you could use for like back, which is I think are really cool. But I do want to mention something that Toy Story said in the live chat. He says, how do you feel about re-editing photos that you already posted? I went back earlier and re-edited 2 photos using a new technique that I used. That's really cool. Yeah. Have you ever gone and done that?
Yeah. And I was kind of, because I think there's a photo of Lion-O and He-Man clashing swords. And that was like my first crossover with He-Man Thundercats, because I was so excited, because I wasn't going to go, I wasn't going to get the Super 7 Thundercats, but they're so awesome. It's like, again, that's another line that and crossover that I would love to. And well, found out later they did a DC Comics miniseries of it. But even growing up, I always had my GI Joe or Masters and Thundercats playing with each other. But yeah, there was He-Man and Lion-O clashing swords, and then again I was just playing in Photoshop. I was kind of just messing around, and then I added. It was just a little spark, and I was like, oh, that's what was missing, because I was like, in between the swords, it's not there, and it's like, but right there in the center, and it's like I added a spark and some other effects, and it's like that's what's missing. It's like it just looks so. I mean, it's fine, but it's just like that. It needed that oomph. It needed, again, it's like Lion-O, and He-Man clashing swords. It shouldn't be. I mean, they're good guys, but it's like maybe Skeletor put some mind tricks or something on them, and they're
Yeah.
like Batman versus Superman. I don't know, but yeah, I went back and played around with that in Photoshop and added some effects. Like, oh, yeah, it's like maybe I'll repost it later. But
yeah, you should.
It was like a missed opportunity, but yeah, definitely for a lot of these. Gone back and retouched. Even that one with Reptile and Subzero, I've gone back because now I've kind of started messing with adding kind of smoke effects, layering with overlays and stuff like that, and just adding the smoke or fog smoke effects. I think it's called Gaussian blur, and kind of putting that in there to kind of make it more mist-like. And because it's just and just. Yeah, going in there and just re-editing it, it's like, oh man, it's like it should look so much better. But again, maybe reposting it, but then just taking that, okay, well, like you mentioned earlier, for my next post, I definitely want to take that in consideration. Now that I know how to do this, go in and okay, make sure I light it this way because I want to put in this effect or do this in editing to make sure I emphasize this part of the photo or this, just like if I'm going to put fog or any kind of rain effect or something like that, just now that I know how to do that, I can add that in there next time.
Right, you can approach your photo with like post-processing in mind, which is incredibly valuable. I will say though, sometimes if you get so, I don't know if you get so confident with editing that you go into your photo like, I'll just do all this in editing. Sometimes that can be like a vice. Like there's been times where I've relied on it too much, and I've been like, I should have just done it the old-fashioned way. So the photos that you have on the top. Oh, and also I do want to mention that you have a very what's the right word? A very specific and identifiable style to your photos. Like as you're scrolling, like you have a very lots of colors, vibrant, and I don't know, like it's your own style. You have a very distinctive kind of style to your photos, and that's so cool. I love when I can see a photo and I can be like, oh, that's Emerald Knight's photo, and you definitely have that kind of distinctive style for sure.
Oh, thank you, appreciate that.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, so you're at 478 before. If you're not following John at Emerald Knight Photos, go and follow him right now. Oops, I clicked on the wrong thing. But now we're at 487. Oh, wow. Whoa, we just swapped numbers at the end. Sweet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
We might actually get you to 500. If we can get him to 500, that would be really amazing. That would be super amazing. And Steve, hey Steve, thanks man for being here. And he says, do you use practical effects like Atmosphere Aerosol or mostly use post-processing for effects? It's a great question.
Yeah, I haven't. I really want to do more practical effects. I just haven't gotten. I need to get a lens that kind of gives me a wider aperture. So, because right now I think the one I get, the two that I have a 200 millimeter and a 55 millimeter, and they only go up to I think f/4. So I want to get some a little bit higher. Because I played around with actually First Strike gave me the he kind of mentioned what he uses and the little misters, trying to get mist, and then definitely want to use your tools as far as trying to get water effects and the little I think it's the plunger, the little gun to shoot, make dirt.
Yeah.
But and also get some atmosphere aerosol and kind of do that work on using that. But I think that it coincides with make sure you have the right camera settings and make sure you can capture that. You have a fast shutter speed to make sure you capture it. So getting there. But just more practice, more kind of just playing around. So
Well, I do want to say too that practical effects, digital effects, and everything in between, there is definitely no one way is better than the other. The only reason that I like do a lot of practical effects is because I don't know how to do it digitally. I don't know how to do it any other way. If I knew how to do it digitally, who knows? I might do a lot more digital effects, but I just don't know how to do that. So there's definitely no way that's better than others. And there's been times where I've seen a lot of hopefully this doesn't turn into a tangent for me, but there's been a lot of times where I've seen like other toy photos like kind of doing well in other places where a lot more wider audience is seeing them. Like sometimes I'll see like on Facebook a viral video about somebody on toy photography and stuff like that, and so many of the comments are just like, these are cool but it's all fake, all the effects are fake. Yeah. And it's like, who cares? Like, why does like and that would just frustrate me so much. Like, who cares if the whatever explosion effect is digital? Like, that doesn't make it any less cool. Like, I don't know, it's just like there's so many different ways to achieve some type of art that you're going for. It's just like, all are great,
Yeah, I mean, just whatever works best or whatever you can use at that time. I feel like you just just do it. Because it just gets you more, just more experience. I think that one with Tila, the one from the bottom, just right there in the cloak. Yeah, that one. So that was my first one posting of just adding some overlay, some smoke overlay
that
on
looks
there.
great.
And just playing around with it and just seeing what other people think, or and eventually I would like to get that practical, but it just need to work on that. But I want to at least have a couple of shots out there to show and kind of just, and for me just to see too as well. It's just like, what does this look like and how can I play around with that? Because eventually I want to get them in camera, but let me just see what they look like digitally right now.
Honestly, I would have thought that you had some like Atmosphere Aerosol or something and you sprayed it in this. I would have legitimately thought that this was a real fog, as opposed to it being digital. So there's that, which is awesome. And whatever works, whatever gets you to the effect you want to get, for sure. My least favorite comment is when I see things and people will say, it's cool, but so much Photoshop. And it's like, what's wrong with that? Like, Photoshop is an incredibly valuable skill. Like, I wish I knew more about Photoshop, because I could probably make, there's so many, like, if you were like a master in Photoshop, how many great jobs you could probably get that make a lot of money. Like, Photoshop and those types of digital skills are incredibly valuable. So, like, I wish I knew more. So, and I know no one here watching has that view at all. It's usually a comment I'll see from like people who are like new to the.
Oh yeah.
But it's always just interesting. But no, this shot is awesome, and the fog looks great. I would say do that more often for sure. So Tomahawk Toy Box in the live chat says, I suck at indoor photos to the point where I just don't even bother to try and take them. What's the best way for an outside shooter to get over that hump? Tomahawk, my friend, I think there is one way to get over it, and it's just to go and do it and try it and just keep doing it over and over. That's literally it. Even though you don't like it, and it's clearly it's a comfort zone. I and trust me, nobody knows that outdoor comfort zone more than I do. Like, taking stuff inside is not my forte either. That's why I'm almost always outside. You just got to go and do it and try it and keep doing it.
Yep, I mean, I 100% agree, because I'm really the opposite. It's like I do most of the indoor stuff, and then when I do any outdoors, it's kind of like it's the only way you're gonna be able to get over that hump is just do it, and then just gain more experience like that. And it's just, I mean, I've taken a couple outdoor shots, but it's just some of them came out good, some of them not. But it's just you just keep on trying, and then eventually you'll work it out.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, just gotta go and do it. Just gotta give it a shot. And Go Figure Go sends in a super chat, says, hey bro, is that tangible? Yes, thanks for always being here. Go figure, go. You're the man. You're the man. And two, a quick plug for him. He's got a great YouTube channel that he's been doing a lot of really very entertaining shows that he does with people on there too. So make sure, and you could click on his thing and probably subscribe right from there. So do that for sure.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And Mr. Tang's World, hey man, says, who cares what people say about Photoshop? These pictures are awesome. Jared, your pictures are awesome. I've learned so much from you, Jared, over the time I have been watching you learning the tips. Mr. Tang's World, you're awesome. And you're 100% right. Who cares? You know, who cares? I completely agree. Sometimes I see those comments and I'm like, come on. Like, I just want people to just appreciate that digital art or whatever is just as like difficult or harder than practical or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Whether it be my photos or anybody's photos. But anyway, sorry, that was a long tangent. But the last, this photo, this is the one I used for the thumbnail of the video, because this photo is there's a lot of stuff about this photo that's really awesome. So first of all, it's vibrant, it's beautiful, it's great, and everything looks great. The lighting is really matching I don't know if you use a digital background or what, but all of the lighting, the digital background, and then the stuff behind the greens behind them, it all is super cohesive and all flows very, very well and looks like one big scene.
Yeah, and that is the digital background that he used, and I think that was the first time I really wanted to do a kind of outdoorsy, woodsy type deal. I hadn't made those trees yet, so but I did go pick up some greenery at Hobby Lobby, and I was like, I just want to do an outdoorsy type shot. So I found the woods background, just they were on a screen, and then I just put the greenery around, and then just set up my figures. And again, that was another one where it's like the angling, I try different angles. It's just like, I can't get this shot, and then just from looking at kind of just like looking for one side, like, what if I do it from here, have the camera at this angle, this low or this high, and it's like, okay, maybe it'll come out. And yeah, sure enough, it just after a couple photos, like, I think I found the one that I wanted to use.
Yeah. And I will also say too that on top of all of the visual accomplishments, it's also like it's a funny shot. You got Skeletor, who is He-Man's worst enemy, and he's kind of like whispering over to Lion-O, like, listen, man, this guy right here, He-Man, he might seem like he's a good dude, but he's not, and I hate him, so you should fight him, even though obviously Lion-O's a good guy, and he's not going to see through that. But it is just like, it's just a funny interaction, and that's like when you can achieve the visual beauty of a photo, and then also get the the connection with the storytelling or whatever. All of those things together, that's like all of the ingredients to the best toy photo, in my opinion. And that this photo's got all of it. For sure. So this was my I was like, yeah, this is the thumbnail for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's the one that's done the most, that's gotten like the most likes, most, so that's like, I think, yeah, if anybody asked or, would ask me what's your favorite photo, probably that one, because I think that one, it comes just kind of like everything you're saying is just, I was like, I have this cool idea, I want to have this, have this scene in mind, and then, so kind of really wanted to just play that out, and then just have it done, so.
Yeah, that's my favorite, when the idea comes before you start setting up. Like, sometimes you start setting up looking for an idea, which is always fun. I always enjoy that, but I love when the idea comes first, and then you kind of go to execute the idea. And Snapphase in the live chat says, what are you using for your grass, John? So yeah, what is this over here? Down here.
That's just, again, from Hobby Lobby, just a little, in the model section, it's like, you can pick it up, just, a little sheet of grass turf that, you just like, I laid out on my table, and that's pretty much all I use. But yeah, just something I just picked up at the hobby store.
There's Hobby Lobby or Michael's. Those are just so much fun. I love just going in there just to fart around. But there looks like there's even some humps and unevenness to the ground. Is that like part of it, or did you do that, or is this?
Because it was there was this accident, because it rolled up. So I guess when I unrolled it, it just had those.
So it's made of paper.
Yeah, it's kind of like paper with the kind of the grass turf on top of it, so and just rolled it out,
Cool.
and then
That worked
so
out nicely.
yeah, it's like it worked out perfect. So I was like, nice.
Yeah, it adds a little bit more realism to it. And also the posing is great on this. Like, Skeletor's pose is great because he's looking at He-Man, but you can tell he's talking to Lion-O, and Lion-O's eyes are locking with He-Man. Like that it works so perfect.
Yeah, again, that's probably my favorite, and just the beginning of the like kind of the crossover that I was doing, and wanted to kind of just show that, and again, the story being like, hey, I mean, they made a movie or an animated film, and like, I know maybe he got transported to Eternia, doesn't know anything, and he meets Skeletor first, and Skeletor was like, hey, let me get in here first and show this guy, like, hey, don't He-Man over here, hey, he's got one door, but he wants yours too, so it's just like, you gotta watch out for him.
I feel like these two universes work so well together. There's never been like a crossover comic or anything like that.
Yeah, there was. I think somebody
okay.
posted one of my in the comments and mentioned it. So, because I have the DC Infinite subscription, so
Nice.
I went on there. Oh, there it is. I started been reading it. It's like, oh yeah. This is. And it's kind of how it
cool.
played out, like kind of how I imagined. So, yep.
Awesome. Cool. Well, yeah. If you're like I said, go and follow him now. Or I mean, we might actually. We're at 490, so you're at 10 away. So hopefully, people who are watching this not live will come and go do it as well. So earlier, before we started the stream, you were about to like show me your collection really quick, and then I was like, no, don't, because I want to see it. I want to do it on stream. So, let's. Do you want to give us a quick little tour?
Yeah. Let me see here.
Wonder if I can put it up a little bit.
So start off here. I'm a big wrestling fan as well, so some championship belts with my Storm collectibles.
On the Dio up top, that's the one. That's the one from your first photo, the diorama. Yep. Awesome.
And then here is my Masterverse collection so far.
Those are really cool shells.
Yeah, I mean, I got them on IKEA, so pretty. IKEA's collector's best friend.
Yep.
And well, that's a movie poster. Again, what I mentioned was this was a theater room, so my got my projector right there.
Awesome.
All my gear.
Got some lights and lots of. Wow, that is an epic tripod thing for your. That is, like the. That is just an epic rig tripod. Look at the handle thing on there.
Yeah, and that's again that goes back to my video production days.
Yeah,
that was for my video camera back in the days, and that's what I was using. And again, it all kind of came together because I was like, wait a minute, I got some gear I can use for. Let me go grab my. It was just in the garage, just collecting dust, so I grabbed it and started using it. I was like, yeah, that's what I've been using. Yeah. So,
and there's the explosion.
Yep, there's an explosion right there.
Awesome, that looks really great.
And then my little kind of, actually this used to be a closet, and I had somebody convert it into like a little got a refrigerator and ice maker and stuff like that, like a little snack
popcorn machine. This is awesome. I want to go watch a movie and look at your figures in there. You even got a little the bar rubber thingy there.
Yeah, for any drinks or anything, sodas or whatever you prefer.
And those look great in the shelf there. The lights in the shelf are very helpful.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, that's kind of like my intention when I had the guy come out and make it. So I was like, yeah, just I wanted to kind of just have stuff for display.
Awesome.
And then the Hot Toys.
Hot Toys shelf. So you don't shoot these guys?
I've done a couple, and I got some. But again, Hot Toys are kind of hard to kind of shoot. So.
Big stuff is hard. I agree.
Yeah, but I definitely want to shoot them a lot more because they're so amazing.
Is that the BVS Superman?
Yeah. So
cool.
BVS Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman.
Awesome. I'm jealous of a lot of those.
So yeah.
And there's the Nightmare Batman down there. I just got him too, but I got the newer version. The re-release.
Yeah, that's my little setup here that I have. Just that's the table I use and stuff. So
What a great room. What is just like? How often are you in there? Even if you're not watching movies, how often do you use that room?
pretty much kind of every day. Because I work from home, so I I'll be up here just working from the house. Kind of use it as an office area too. So
Sweet.
so in between like calls or lunchtime, I'll just come over here and just set up something and just start shooting. So
Cool.
kind of just can kind
Awesome.
of load my yeah.
It's very it's like it's tough to make, as us collectors I'm sure can all understand. It's tough to have a big collection and then have it still feel like homey and nice and not feel like clutter.
Yeah.
And that's a fear I have. I never want my collection to look like clutter, so I try really hard to keep it clean. Dusting though sucks, but
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
and your room definitely has that like still cozy, homey feel, but no clutter.
Oh, thank you.
At all. All right, I got some questions from Instagram.
Okay.
So let's go. Actually, I'm going to start. Actually, I'm going to see if there's any questions here that are very relevant to what we were talking about. Okay, so we were just talking about basically your collection and stuff. So this question here is from 850 Sith Lord. Thanks for sending it in, 850 Sith Lord. What's your favorite line of action figures of all time?
Oh, it's gotta be He-Man. It's gotta be Masters of the Universe. That's always gonna be my favorite.
So the newer one, that the Mattel one that came out last year.
Yeah, but I mean, going even back, to the original line. I mean, just the whole franchise in general. But definitely these, because I missed out on the classics because that was during the time that I was kind of like in my 20s and just like I'd heard about them, but I just maybe if I'd seen them or kind of just been more exposed to them, I definitely probably would have picked them up. But I missed that wave, and then like now when I was going back and looking, like, oh yeah, maybe I need to go back and I need to get back into He-Man. Just like it's hitting me now. I really want to be back in that in that world. And then just looking at the Cosmic Classics, it's like there's no way I can like,
Yeah.
Just even a loose He-Man Classic and running you up to like a 190 or something like that.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, it's really crazy how expensive those are. I mean, because I think truly those probably were the best representation or the best line. I can't justify buying those. So, Masterverse, kind of just, it scratches that itch. It gets, it's like, yeah, I'm perfectly fine just, collecting those. And, are they better than classics? Some of them might be, or some of them on par. Some of the figures that they've released so far. Yeah, I think some of them on par with the classics version, but
Sweet.
Yeah, definitely that. Overall, yeah, that would be my favorite, from the very beginning to now with the Masterverse. Yeah, He-Man.
Heck yeah. Yeah. I could have guessed that one myself. I think so. And so Go Figure Go sent this one in like last minute in a message form. So question for Emerald Knight. You're wearing the Infinity Gauntlet. So there's prerequisites here. So you're wearing the Infinity Gauntlet, and to save the multiverse, you have to snap one out of existence between the three. Do you snap Lion-O out? Do you snap He-Man out? Or do you snap Superman out? Who gets the snap?
Oh,
what an awful question. This is...
I know. No, it's tough.
It's good, though. Thanks, Go Figure Go.
Man, that would probably be... I hate doing it, but it had to be Lion-O because it just seems like you got to have Superman. I mean, He-Man and Superman, they kind of cancel each other out, but it's like I'd rather have both of them, and then Lion-O's kind of like odd man out when it comes, because it's like to keep the universe going, to keep everything. It's like it's like I want to keep He-Man and Superman around. It's like
I'm glad you said that. I would have been really sad if you said Superman. Like, I would have just thought about Superman being snapped out of existence and then just got a little sad. So I'm glad you didn't say that. Really glad you didn't say him. Great question. Go Figure Go. And thanks for sending that one in for sure. So this is a double one from Rod AZ. So I know he was there in the live chat. He says, what's your favorite Thundercat character, and what's your favorite He-Man character?
Thundercats. I mean, I guess it's a. I would immediately say Lion-O, but then I mean, it's if I had a 1A, 1B, it'd be Lion-O and then Panthro.
Mm.
They were both of them were kind of like you could swap them out. As far as He-Man, I mean, it probably would be Triclops. He would be my favorite. He's the one with the visor that has like 3 eyes that kind of spins.
Yep, gotcha.
Around. So, he's been in a couple of my shots, and I
Definitely.
love his figure is amazing, and you know that's like my favorite out of the whole right now, just out of the whole Masterverse line is Triclops. But
Nice.
yeah,
Okay,
he would be my favorite, and it kind of like I like saying this a lot. We're kind of using this as kind of it's like he's my Boba Fett because like Boba Fett's always been like didn't do a whole lot, or at least in the original trilogy and the original history, it's like but it's like he was so cool, it's like
just
he's
cool.
a big character, but he's just so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, Triclops, even though he's not really a main, I mean he's one of the main, one of Skeletor's henchmen, but I mean just kind of like a side character, but he's so cool.
He's just
growing
cool.
up, and then the green because green's my favorite color, so I was instantly just like I just gravitated towards that. Like, that's my guy right there.
Awesome. Cool. Really, I love asking these or getting questions from you guys. And Tomahawk Toy Box, have a great night, my friend. Thanks for being here, dude.
Yep. Thank you.
So this one, we might have to figure out this question together. But he says, this is from Lego Lightbulb Brick Bears, and he says, how do you do masking on your pictures if you only have one frame? And so I think what he means is like masking, like how do you kind of like remove stuff out of a photo if you only have one frame, because that's often what people will use masking for. Do you have an answer for him?
John, that's kind of a tough one. I'm sure it's easy, but man, Photoshop is still for me. It's still a beast, and it's like still. And yeah, most of the time when I'm masking, I always add like multiple layers. Maybe that's what he's referring to as frame as far as like layers, and then just adding stuff because I know I think you mentioned in the past like for the wire work and removing that, like sometimes you want to take a background plate photo and then without the wires, and then you can go in there and add that behind and kind of you can do some erasing and get rid of it. But
is that how you like, so for instance, like one of the ones with like Subzero was kicking Scorpion, like one of the ones where you've got somebody floating like that, is that the technique you'd usually do to remove whatever stand or wire?
I did, but then you said, hey, what about content aware fill? And then I started using that because I try, even though I have a iMac and MacBook. I mean, a lot of times I feel more comfortable working on my iPad. And the new update to Photoshop on iPad, they actually have content aware fill. So I was like, let me mess around with that. And first time I did it, and I think it was that Subzero photo, boom, it just got rid of that wire. Like, oh,
nice. Crap. Yes.
Like, that's it.
The content aware fill.
That's it. It's like that's awesome. So nowadays that's all I do as far as removing wires and stuff. So
cool.
Yeah, that's kind of the way to do it. And I guess maybe if you kind of you could use that because it's really just one frame, because there's just I don't have anything behind it or any layers. I just edit the picture as it is and just go in there and just remove stuff that I want gone from the picture. So
yeah, that's I would have said the same answer. Use the content aware fill if you have that on if you have Photoshop, and because most of the time Lego Lightbulb, I will only have I won't have a separate photo that I'll use without the stand or something, because it ends up getting difficult if I have other effects and stuff. So I just use the content aware fill all the time. And I have this new, so my friends got me this really cool stream deck thing. I'm trying to show you. This thing is crazy. It's got all these buttons on it, and I can put whatever buttons I want on it, and it can connect to Photoshop. It connects to Photoshop, and they're I can just add a button for whatever Photoshop command or whatever I want. So when I'm opening up Photoshop, there's a content aware fill button, so I just whoop, boop, and then it just does it. It's just the coolest. Nice. It's the coolest thing ever. So that's what I would say. Lego Lightbulb for sure. So let's see here. This is from CJ, Notorious, who was here for sure. Oh, actually, you know what? Before we do move on to that, Linda has a great... Linda is like the master of Photoshop, and she says, duplicate the one frame, blur the second frame, then mask it out and keep the ones you want. That's brilliant. That's really smart.
I think she's posted in the other streams. Linda, she provides a lot of great advice. I think I've even like used it in some of my photos. Like she's
Me too.
She does a lot of give a lot of great advice.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing another like live editing stream soon. So Linda, I hope you're there so you can basically just help all of us. Back to this is from CJ, who was here in the live chat. It says, which figure is your go-to for photos? Which figure?
Oh man, that's another tough one. Before it used to be the Storm collectibles. Like those were like if I was trying to figure out what to do, like a certain shot, I would just get either Subzero Reptile or Scorpion and just let me just throw them in there and like I can make them work. I mean, just they're kind of universal, I guess. Ninjas are just like that. But nowadays with the now I got the the Thundercats Super 7, and I was like, oh man, those are so nice, and it's just like I love shooting those. They're just just feeling them in your hand, just like man, these are really well made figures. So a lot of times I just want to just do another shot of Lion-O or do a shot of Panthro, or now that I got a Tigra, it's like I want to take plenty of shots of him. But
Definitely.
I think still go to would be the Storm collectibles. I mean, they look amazing too when you have them lit properly and in frame and shots. It's like I mean, you can do so much with those.
They really do. They are like I can tell. Like I've never held one in my hand because I don't have one, but they look like they're really quality figures. They just they look like they're dense. They just look really dense.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is really cool. And CJ is here for sure. Thanks, CJ. You're the man.
Yep. Thank you.
So, OFP Marine says, where did you get your Thundercats figures? Taking me back to my childhood. So OFP, maybe OFP's an 80s baby too.
Well, I started off because there's a toy store here by kind of where I'm at, and I saw them there. I'd already seen them on Big Bad Toy Store and kind of things like that. And I went ahead and just got it was right there, so I got the Lion-O. So I pulled the trigger, so I went ahead and picked them up. But the rest pretty much on Amazon. They have them on Amazon, so just
nice.
It's just for decent price. I mean, there are on the more expensive side than than the Masterverse and stuff that's at retail. But yeah, it's like, well, I definitely want to at least get the core Thundercats, so get those 4 and then maybe get a couple of villains. But that's the cool thing is I can have photos with them with Master Universe villains or other villains. I don't have to really get Mumra or Slythe or any of those other bad guys yet. I can kind of just feel, I can feel the gap right now. Kind of save some money and just get those. So that's pretty much. We got the rest of them through Amazon. So
nice. And I've seen a lot of them at Target. I've seen a lot, and pretty much every time I see these figures, I see them at Target. There's always seems to be a couple of them, especially on like the end caps. I see them on like some of the end caps in the toy section. And hey, Mario Mano, thanks for being here. Hi to you back. Cool. OFP Marine, thanks for sending it in. This is a really good question from Soda Pop Swordsman. It says, what's the best type of taco? And you know what? I'll even expand that a little bit. I'll say taco or any Mexican dish.
Well, I mean, I love enchiladas. I mean, it's funny though, because I growing up, I never liked, even though I'm Hispanic, Mexican, it's just, I never enjoyed Mexican food. I mean,
interesting.
But as a kid, you kind of just have your own, certain taste. But as once I got older, I went to, a Mexican restaurant with my friends, and I got enchiladas, and I was like, oh man, it's like this is amazing. It was like, why was I always avoiding this? But, kids can always be picky eaters, so it's just like that's how I was as a kid. Like I didn't want to eat no Mexican food, not even tacos or anything. Nowadays, yeah, I mean, when I get tacos, I like brisket tacos. Those are pretty good.
That sounds amazing. I've never had a brisket taco. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, they're pretty nice. And being, of course, being from Texas, yeah, there's a lot of Tex-Mex type of, Mexican food that we have here.
I was gonna say, there's probably a lot of great options in Texas for that. I mean, the best we got here. here in New York, we've got a couple Mexican restaurants, but I mean best we got is probably like Taco Bell, which is, I mean, not saying a whole lot, but I do love me some Taco Bell. But I need to get a brisket taco. So that sounds incredible. So
Yeah, they're
awesome.
pretty good. Pretty good.
Shelby in the live chat says you're a good toy photographer. So I'm assuming she's.
Thanks, Shelby.
So Shelby,
It could be you.
no, it's
For
definitely
you,
you. Well, Shelby, if you aren't already, make sure you're going and following him right here, Emerald Knight Photos on Instagram. And all right, let's see. He was at 490 before. I'm super. All right, we're still at 490, but I mean, at least we're there. I would like to see 500 plus, but Linda or Shelby, that's all you. If you haven't gone and followed him yet. All right, so best type of taco, great answer. Next is from, favorite fig line, we did that one. So this is from the Figure Freak. Where do you get your sets and dioramas from?
Yep. So yeah, like we were saying before, so I got the majority of them are extreme sets. So I have like the dungeon, the command center, and I just got their I guess they're Space Town pop-up sets. So my most recent pictures, has been of that. And then diorama prints. I got a couple of those, and then actual foam dioramas. Just through either through eBay or Etsy. So
cool.
Definitely want to start kind of going into I started with the trees. Now I kind of want to go into making my own foam core dioramas. Cool. So yeah, kind of see that. Yeah, I want to start that process. Been kind of just studying and watching a lot of YouTube videos and reading some stuff online. So not too difficult. I mean, it's kind of the same process. I mean, you're just using like a heat gun,
right?
And use that to kind of do your carving and kind of just your cutting. Because I think I want to start off small and do something like some kind of maybe stone platform. Something small.
It's a good idea.
I could put my fingers on, and it's. Like for pillars is like stone, like kind of Roman pillars. I mean, it's like, man, it's like just all it is, like carotid cardboard that they wrap around and put on top of like a small, foam square or foam core square, and then you just kind of just go in there and just paint it, and you can just do some deterioration effects on there with like a heat gun or something, or like a like a soldering iron, and it's like, oh, that's pretty easy. And it's like
it's amazing the stuff people can do. I have not really done a whole lot of diorama. Actually, I don't think I've done anything diorama building. The best I do is I put sticks in the ground outside. Yeah, that's the best I've done. But yeah, it's incredible, and I would love to see this. If you get into that, I would love to see that, and I'm sure we will. D Blake, how's it going, man? Thanks for being here. He makes these really cool like signs and stuff for like kind of like logo, like physical things. It's really cool. I was also gonna say too, I know you said you got a lot of your stuff like on Etsy. I thoroughly enjoy just sometimes going on Etsy and just like typing in like 1/12 scale or something like really broad like that, and just seeing all the stuff like, wow, I never even thought of this before. Like, I didn't know I wanted like 1/12 scale Mountain Dew cups, but now I really do. It's so much fun. Like definitely get the Etsy app if you don't have one. Or if you don't have it, it's just fun to scroll and look at stuff.
It can be dangerous though.
Oh, of course. I mean, this whole entire hobby, art form, whatever you want to call it, is dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. We kind of touched on this one, but from Artistic Toaster says, what are some of your personal favorite figures to take pictures of? So I think we heard some of the Masterverse and Super 7 Thundercats line.
Actually, to add to that would probably be, and this is kind of one of the photos I would want to retake, was the real Ghostbusters and Predator. Just because it came out a little bit grainy, which it might work for the photo, but that was that's a crossover I was doing way back when, when I was little, and it's such an odd kind of crossover, but I was a real Ghostbusters fan because of the movie and then the cartoon. And then, you know, Predator, I mean, you know, when I saw that, I mean, I was like, loved it. Shouldn't have been seeing it, even though you know, it was pretty pretty violent, pretty, you know, way, you know, inappropriate for a 6-year-old, but still, it's like I watched it, and so yeah, that was, you know, I'd always recreate that, you know, just have those, you know, the original Kenner, you know, small Ghostbuster figures with the Kenner, you know, it was like a 2-pack with the that they came out with way back in, I think it was the late 80s, early 90s, of the Predator and Alien 2-pack, which is crazy. It's like, you know, even back then, it's like they released, you know, action figures of 2 R-rated properties. But
right,
yeah, that's just something I would always play with. Just, you know, create my own storyline with that. And now it's like, okay, well, now they're, you know, it's like now they're growing up. You know, they're you know, that's a NECA, you know, jungle hunt Predator, and I think those were Diamond Select real Ghostbusters that came out a couple years ago. And yeah, now that's like they're grown up, I'm grown up, and it's just like, you know, here we go. You know, it's like just sitting there, you know, and all of a sudden they're just confronted with a Predator, and he's like, you know, what's going on? What's up?
What is this diorama? This toy pick community thing on the like theater like marquee? This is cool.
That's Diorama Prince. Yeah.
This really, Diorama Prince has their own toy pick community like diorama.
Yeah. It's like, I think it's their street version, because I wanted to get, you know, something like more of a street vibe. So yeah, it's like I think on the other side is like the one that has like the tattoo parlor or whatever, the signage. But yeah, it's like a closed down movie theater. So yeah, that's like their, you know, yeah, their little collaboration, I guess, with Toy Pick community that they made. And
that is so cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome. Well, good for them. That's so cool. Okay, well, cool. That's I was totally expecting us to be like, yeah, we already talked about this, but no, great. So much great more insight for this one. So thanks, Artistic Toaster, for that.
Yep, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Got a couple more, and if anyone has, I keep forgetting to say, if anyone has any other questions, throw them in the live chat, and I'll stick them up here right now. We would love to get some of those. So, yeah, please throw them in there. And so this is from Yellow Man Studios. What time of day is the best for taking photos? And so this might be different too, especially if you are primarily an indoor shooter. So
yeah. Really, I mean, I usually take my photos after work, so it's always the afternoon. But and here it's like, yeah, it's just you know, it gets. I like this. It's like the perfect studio because I made into a you know, this room into a theater room. Because it's dark. I mean, me and my wife, we painted, you know, like the dark blue and stuff like that, dark gray and stuff. So, you know, when you turn the lights off, you turn everything off, it's super dark. So, I mean, yeah, that was it's like doubles, like, okay, cool, now I have control of my lighting. So really, any time of the day works, you know, it's, you know, works great, because it's like, all I gotta do is shut off the house lights, and then boom, it's like I'm in complete darkness, and I have control of all my lighting. So it's just, for indoor shooters, yeah, I mean, I think that's always a benefit. And also, yeah, I mean, I like to ask around other people, whether it's a Discord or on Instagram, like, hey, so do you shoot a lot with your house lights on, like, or do you like to just shoot in blackness, like in a
that's interesting.
And just, because yeah, it's interesting, because I noticed if I do, you know, keep the lights on like they are now, like this different effect that it can provide, you know, as far as like the you know, the actual picture, and kind of add more, you know, kind of fill light, you know, or kind of just casting light on there. So that's always interesting. But
that is interesting to think about. Because I'm always like, should I turn the lights off and just do everything from scratch, or should I leave that out?
Yeah.
Do you have a question? All right, we have official question from Harley.
Oh, okay.
Does that mic pick up?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can hear it from where you are.
Okay, I don't know how close to get. I forgot it. Hang on.
Oh, she forgot her question. Great.
Oh.
Should I move on to another question when you think of it?
No, don't say anything, because I'm gonna forget it even more. How deep am I supposed to go with these questions?
I mean,
I gotta go on.
Okay, go for it.
What is the most traumatic experience you've ever had?
Oh man, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't have to answer that. I can come up with another one.
What's the most traumatic toy photography experience you've ever had?
There you go. Yeah, well, I asked you. Okay, I'm gonna go.
Probably. Man, that's a tough one. That really is a tough one. Probably, I think, yeah, just getting everything set, having, everything ready to go, and then go, shoot, and then I look and my battery just died.
Oh,
and I was like, oh my god,
that's traumatic.
Now I gotta charge the battery. It's like, don't touch anything. Just like leave it the way it is. Let me turn off the lights so I can conserve, their,
Yes.
Their battery. I'll just turn, just don't move. Nobody, like I'm telling the figures, like nobody move. Charge real quick so I can go. And then that's or if I bump the table and like something by accident and they just everything just like collapses.
Of course. Yeah.
Trying to get figures to stay where they are and poses. Yeah, something like that happens. Yeah, that's horrible.
The battery one is that hits hard because that's not one I feel like I talk about super often. But I mean, the best thing to do is just get another battery on Amazon. Yeah. Most of the time they're not so bad, but since I've switched cameras, like I haven't gotten an extra battery, which I really need to, because when the battery dies, it's just like, come on, like, because you're in the zone.
Yep.
So that's really good. We got a bunch of great questions in the chat. Oh. So Toy Story says, I can't take a bright, crisp photo to save my life. Any tips on that, John?
I know when I started, like I think I mentioned that earlier, yeah, once I changed the ISO on the camera and kind of just play with the aperture settings, that came out, I mean, super crisp. I mean, it was a noticeable difference. I mean, just in camera, even before I transferred to my my computer and could bring it up in Lightroom or Photoshop, whatever, to look at it. I mean, just in camera I could see, I mean, just changing that ISO, dropping it down to 100, lighting it, open up the aperture and just taking a shot. It was like completely like night and day. Like, oh my god, it's like this super crisp and super smooth. So yeah, definitely play with your ISO settings and probably go to a lower setting, and you can probably see the difference.
Yeah, I think that'll be nice. And turn your ISO down, and when you turn your ISO down, it might make your photo. It will make your photo darker, but it will definitely get rid of some of the not crispness. And so that means if you need to brighten it up, you can brighten it up in other ways, like turning your shutter speed slower, turning it down. That'll brighten it up a little bit. So, yeah, definitely Toy Stories. That's a great answer. And so, Mr. Tang's World says, I know you guys covered this already, but what do you use for lighting? So I know you talked about you have a ring light and you use some other lights, but what do you use for like the green that you have your accent lighting, stuff like that?
So actually, I know I really want to get lume cubes, just because that's what I kind of learned from you. But actually, when I started off, first I was just using like desk lamps and kind of just stuff I had. But then I actually found this on eBay. I'm sorry, not eBay, Amazon. This little called Small Rig.
Oh, okay.
And so what it is, basically, kind of lume cube-esque, and it's just like these little, lights.
Totally.
So it's like a pack of 3, and so it's kind of like this neat little case, and it has you got your gel filters, little stands, little attachments, mute light, comes with barn doors. So I got this kind of like as a foundation, kind of to start off with, and then as I kind of just learn more, kind of just went on Amazon. Okay, what kind of else, or also just seeing behind the scenes of your photos, people on the Discord, Instagram in general, just seeing. So what kind of light is that? And I would just kind of like look, and I would just hit them up and like, hey, what light is that? And so I started kind of getting these Ulanzis.
There you go. Snapface just said that Ulanzi. Yep.
And so definitely these really come in handy and kind of provide real kind of accent lights that I like to use for like these, because these don't, you can just change the color on the back of it. Just, it's like a little dial. Just, yep, I want to go to green. So just switch that. And then I just got this other Luanzi light kind of just recently. So awesome. But yeah, and then again, like I said earlier, just the little ring light as far as like the over just kind of the overarching light that I like to use as the foundation. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But I do want to get at least some some lume cubes eventually. But those kind of like just for I think that set costs like less than, like just over $100. I mean, on Amazon. So
wow.
Like, that's not. Yeah,
Comes
like
with
because it
a lot of stuff.
yeah, and then nice little cute little case, so I can just carry that around. So yeah, but that's pretty much the extent of the my lighting.
Fred says, "What's the name of the company he talked about? Ulanzi and Small Rig.
Yeah,
Small Rig.
yeah,
He said that set with the 3 cubes and the stands and stuff. That was like $100 or something
Amazon.
from Amazon. Small Rig. That's awesome. So yeah, super helpful stuff. These are great. Okay, so D Blakes says, "What editing program do you use?"
Really just I was playing around with some free stuff in the beginning that that you can just download on your phone. But then I was like, oh, let me just look on see see what else is out there. I mean, and then I just saw like the cloud version for Photoshop and Lightroom. Because I go again, I didn't realize there was a cloud version that that was available, and I was like, oh man, it's like that. And then they have like the iPad version, so definitely that's pretty much my go-to, Lightroom and Photoshop. So
Yeah. Yeah, same here. Photoshop, I do everything in Photoshop for sure. And Photoshop's awesome, and it's literally like the term photoshopping came from Photoshop.
yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah.
And if you haven't watched the the Light and Magic documentary on Disney Plus about ILM, like one of the guys literally created Photoshop from like
Oh, really?
it's so yeah, watch that. That's so cool.
I have to check that out.
Yeah, he was. The story is incredible. It's just like, I know I would definitely watch it, especially if you like Star Wars, which I know you do.
Yep.
It's just like he just kind of nonchalantly like, yeah, like, well, I was doing this and this and put this together, and then that became Photoshop, and I was like, wait, like Photoshop? It's just like
Nice.
it's crazy. So yeah, and there's a lot of people use GIMP, which is like it's a free editing software you can download on your PC, and it's got a lot of stuff Photoshop has. And I've never used GIMP, but I really need to download it, give it a shot, and then like just kind of like make a video about it and be like, hey, this is free, like GIMP, like. So that's what I'm going to do. And hey, Val, how's it going, man? Thanks for being here, Val Kitis.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, thanks D Blake for sending that one in. So another question from Brewley, which is Toy Photography Bro on Instagram. Which also I always want to say congrats for getting that handle. Toy Photography Bro says, question: Your photos have a stop motion quality to them. Do you have any plans of exploring stop motion?
Oh wow, that's I was just talking to my wife about that because it was like, because I saw your video about the Walmart ad that you did, and that's something I played with again, going back to my childhood. I mean, I did some stuff real like archaic, I mean, real cheap stop motion, with my action figures. But that's something I definitely would love to explore. And then thank you for the compliment. I mean, that's something eventually, like, I wish, I mean, if I could get that down, oh man, that would combine both worlds. I mean, the full motion, kind of like what I was wanting to do originally with, filmography and everything. And then also, the photography aspect of it. And it's just, yeah, that would be awesome. It just, oh man, it looks so hard. But again, you don't know if you don't try. So eventually, yeah, I definitely want to give that a try. But there's so many great inspiration on Instagram. People on there, then it's like do amazing job, and even for He-Man. I mean, there's been a couple of stuff on their Instagram stories, or because it is the 40th anniversary of He-Man. Me and He-Man.
Oh,
both turning 40. That's like the big thing also this year is He-Man. Yeah, it's his 40th because he was created in 1982. So
well, happy anniversary and happy birthday to you and to He-Man. Wow.
Yeah, so they've done little stop motion stuff on there. I was like, oh, that'd be cool. That'd be so cool. Like that would be like, yeah, that'd be awesome to kind of like get a call from itself. Say, hey, we like your work, and kind of similar to Walmart. Say, hey, can you do do you know how to do stop motion? It's like, yeah, sure, yeah, I can do it. Okay, yeah, we want you to do a stop motion of He-Man and Skeletor or whatever. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I have no idea how to do it, but I'll figure it out. It's like it's my chance to actually work with Mattel and promote their He-Man. So yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I would say for anything that you want to do, whether it be stop motion or just give it a shot. The only way to get better at it is to do it. And Linda's saying, Jared, you need to make a stop motion tutorial for us, but I am in no position. Like I feel like I got lucky with the one that I made. I feel like I'm so bad at it. It's
It was
hard.
good though. I mean, it was real good.
Thanks.
I
Thanks.
saw it. I was like, I even told him, hopefully he'll do a video or something like that. It's like he's got to now. It's like it's already out. Everybody's expecting it.
It's crazy. Actually, Photoshop has a stop motion, like a way to create stop motion in Photoshop, and I.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's just like there's a timeline window you can open up, and you can just like, would you like to create frames by layers? And it's like yes, and so that's how I ended up doing it. And,
oh, nice.
And then I used Lightroom. Lightroom is amazing because you can like open up like 100 photos, and then you can like edit one photo the way you want it to, and then you can apply that same edit to all of your photos. Like apply edit to all of these, and so all of the photos, all 100 of these photos have been edited at the same time.
Nice. I have to look into that thing.
Which is, I mean, I had to because I never really used Lightroom, and so that's how I was like, how do I edit all this stuff at once? I'm not going to edit all of these photos individually. Like it's going to take me forever. But Linda, one day I will. I'm gonna have to get better at it first because I'm gonna make it, and then all the people that actually make good stop motion are gonna look at it and say, "This guy needs a little practice," which would be totally valid. But Bruley, great question with the stop motion, for sure, and I agree. It's kind of a weird thing. Your photos have a stop motion feel to them, and it's like that's a compliment, and I would agree.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean that's an amazing compliment. Thank you, because yeah, it's like, I mean, now I think about it, yeah, I mean that'd be definitely something I would be going for. Yeah,
definitely
think about
do it for sure. And then he says, I look at your photos, and I'm almost waiting to see them move. Totally go for it.
Nice, thank you. Yeah,
Awesome.
I'll give it a try now. Yeah.
Cool. That's really awesome. All right, I think I have one more from Instagram.
Okay.
Yes, I do. It's from First Strike Figs. A great dude, great guy. Says, do you have any rituals you like to do when taking your shots, like listening to music, stuff like that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely will have. I'll have my beats on and just listen to music. A lot of times I'll be soundtrack. Yeah, just all kinds. Really, I like like film scores because again, kind of going back to being a movie buff. So I'll play, especially if it's like tied to whatever I'm shooting. Like if I'm shooting Predator, I'll play the Predator theme.
Oh wow, cool! Really immersing yourself.
Yeah, if it's He-Man, I'll play more Conan type music, and that'll get me really in that vibe, that barbarian type of work, kind of just that feel. Thundercats. I'll play the soundtrack and just get in that, just play the whole soundtrack while I'm just setting up the shot with Thundercats on there, and just anything else, and just regular music in general. Again, I grew up in the 80s, so I like a lot of 80s stuff and early 90s, so I'll play that and just while I'm just taking up a shot.
That's really cool. I specifically do not like to listen to anything while I'm shooting. I don't know if it's because I'm feel distracted or what, but I was like, I remember one time I brought like my headphones with me, and I was like, I'm gonna play some music while I shoot, and I was like, nope, I hate this. I need to just be in my world. I can't be anywhere else. But I do like, I love how you brought up like that you like to like pull up the score of a specific thing you're shooting. That's how I am with comics. Like I love listening to, like, if I'm reading Superman, I'll pull up like some Hans Zimmer of Man of Steel and listen to that. Which I think that really helps. But great question, First Strike.
Yeah, that was a good question.
Yeah, that was really good. So my question for you is, what figure do we not have that you would like? What character needs to be made into a figure that we do not have yet?
Oh man, I knew you were gonna ask that, and I've been thinking about that because it's just like, I think for me it's like they've if they had announced it last year, I probably would have said that. And I've said this earlier, but when Super 7 came out, announced they were going to make the Ultimate GI Joe line, that okay, it's like you got me. That's going straight to the the heart. It's like that's I'm definitely getting those. And if they hadn't made if they hadn't announced that, then definitely that would be something like, oh, I wish they would make some cartoon accurate GI Joes. And luckily, I mean hopefully they'll be coming out this year. They've been on pre-order for I think a year now.
Wow.
But, it was last year when they announced it. So that I mean, I think that's normal for Super 7. That's kind of like they usually take a while. But yeah, I saw just from the pictures and everything, like, oh man, those look so amazing. Cobra Commander, Duke, Flint, Destro. It's like, yeah, those would definitely be top tier for me as far as getting those. Yep.
I was gonna say, like, I don't know what figures you're talking about, so I just gave them a quick Google, and these look like they're like the
cartoon accurate,
but they're like the original size of They're not 6 inches. They're like 3 3/4 inch.
Oh no, those are 7 inches.
Oh wow.
Yeah, those.
And they're diamonds.
They're,
oh no, sorry, you said they were Super 7.
those.
Yeah, they
those
definitely.
Are full on 7 inches, and
Is it an appropriate
Yeah.
question? Okay, we have a good question.
Does it smell like dirty butthole in your room too?
Does it smell like in this room?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah, it smells like that in here. I'm asking if his room
Oh,
smells
okay.
like it too.
Does your room you're in also smell like dirty butthole? 'Cause apparently
It stinks in here.
apparently it does in
You
here.
should light the candle.
hope not. I don't think so.
I came, I went to the gym and then came right back here for this, so that's probably why. Which I'm not ashamed at all. You know what? That's okay. But
Yeah, I mean you got, so that's good.
great question. It's another that's going to be an official segment of the show is questions from
I'll get better at that.
questions from Harley. And I don't know. I feel like that's the charm of your questions. But yeah, these are really cool, and I didn't even realize. I feel like I saw these like probably on my Instagram feed, but then I was like, okay, cool, G.I. Joes. Anyway, but I didn't even think about like who was making them or what, and that's interesting because isn't the G.I. Joe license or like the intellectual property is owned by Hasbro? Like G.I. Joe is a Hasbro product, right?
Yeah, they are. I guess it's maybe a
dirty
part
butthole, though.
with Super 7, I guess.
It's like dirty butthole.
Oh, he said that it does not.
Oh, okay.
It does not. And she's still on the. Yeah. So yeah, I guess maybe they Hasbro was like, yeah, I guess you can make some stuff of our figures too, of our.
Yeah, I mean that's what I imagine. Yeah, they probably got some sort of partnership and say I mean just kind of like with I guess Mattel and Super 7 were the same way because Super 7 was coming out with a lot of they came out with the classics line and the a lot of He-Man characters, but I guess once Mattel's like, yeah, you know what, we want to kind of take back that, we want to do our own version, so you can stop making making those. But I guess because these are obviously different from classifieds, these are like, okay, we're gonna make them more or tune accurate, based on the cartoon. Then that's what Hasbro's probably like, yeah, go ahead and do that, because I mean, we're gonna stick with our classified. You can do that, and
yeah, there won't be much competition for them.
Yeah, because for me, it's like, I mean, I like classifieds look amazing, but to me, that just those just as a kid, I would have gone crazy having those, because the original ones, the small 3 3/4 inch. I mean, those were fine. I mean, I had tons of those, but man, those would be those are just amazing. Definitely can't wait for those to come out. But yeah, they already announced it, but technically they haven't been released yet. So yeah, that's definitely my can't wait for those, and that would be definitely something I would want to be made into a figure.
And the packaging looks really like this is going to be big packaging. There's a lot of stuff coming in here, and there's 7 inches.
Yeah, it's the same as Thundercats. That's how the packaging is with Thundercats figures. Yeah, it's like a big old box, so with all the accessories and everything. So
yeah, it's gonna be a big old box. I'm curious to see him too. And Toy Story says, what do you think of the G.I. Joe teased by Mezco? I forgot Mezco also.
Yeah, and that was pretty nice too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure those are gonna be a big hit when those finally drop with this guy.
Yeah. I had to make it. I had to make a choice. Like, oh man, I gotta, I gotta choose one of the, one of them because I saw those. Like, oh, that's nice, but yeah, I was like, I had to I'll just stick with Super 7.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, definitely. And I don't know. Who knows? You might be seeing some other toy photographers use these, and you'll be like,
yeah.
But Steve Morrow has a great question too. He says, "Would you rather choose nostalgia figures or new figures with articulation?" That's a really fun question.
Yeah. I mean, I think I just stick with nostalgia because it's just what what hits more at home with me, and it's kind of just as far as like getting my creative juices going and for photos and stuff like that. It's like it's just nostalgia is just always gonna get you know you know always get me going.
It's gonna hit you right in the heart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's always gonna get me kind of it's like I want to do this photo. It's like it's like, but for anything that's new, it's like, well, it's kind of always hard because it's like I just don't really maybe not familiar with the characters, or just if I didn't have them as a kid, it's always kind of hard to kind of just get into that zone of wanting to take a photo of them and stuff. So
awesome. I think it's the opposite for me. The nostalgia doesn't grab me too much. It's funny because a lot of the things that I loved growing up in the 90s, I'm not really too interested in the figures. Like I watched a lot of Ninja Turtles, but I don't have any Ninja Turtle figures.
Yeah.
I was a big Power Ranger fan, which I do have a Power Ranger collection, but I don't shoot with them very often. So, and it's just, yeah, so it's the nostalgia hasn't kept with me, I suppose. I mean, with some of it, it definitely has, with superheroes, stuff like that. But, all right, my last question for you is, where do you see yourself in 5 years as a toy photographer?
Oh, for me, it's just getting better. Just getting growing, just just seeing like you were saying earlier, just the progress of my photos just going even more. Like we were talking about tonight, just being able to incorporate practical effects and getting a lot more stuff in camera, not having to rely on Photoshop or Lightroom or a lot of intense kind of editing. I can get everything in camera. Getting noticed would be nice. Kind of just getting that more exposure, and kind of just getting like we were saying, like oh yeah, just Walmart called, or Mattel called, or Hasbro, like, oh, they want you to take this photo. But I think ultimately it would just be just getting better, just seeing the growth and just
awesome.
Continue on. So I think that would be.
That's definitely going to keep happening. I mean, you've been doing this for 8 months and you're already where you are. I mean, just think 5 years from now, it's going to be incredible.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, I'm still doing it.
yes. I mean, of course, as long as you're still doing it. But I have a feeling that you still will be.
Oh yeah, I think that's going to go away anytime soon.
Yes, I agree. Well, John, dude, thank you so much. What a fantastic night. Thank you so much for being on here. Like, this has been amazing.
Thank you for having me on. It was a great time. Enjoyed it, man. Enjoyed everybody's questions, and yeah, it was a good time.
Same here. And like I said, if you're not following Emerald Knight Photos, go follow him right now. His page is right there, and I have it tagged and linked in the description of the video too. So you could just go and click. It's so easy. Just boom, just go and do that. Anything else you want to plug or mention, or anything else before we call it for tonight?
No, I mean I think that's it. Yeah, I mean, just appreciate any support that I get. Again, just anybody that follows. I mean, hopefully, again, they generally like the pictures. They like, and especially if people are like that nostalgia type of stuff, and it's like they can go back and kind of revisit their childhood, and that's kind of what I want to incorporate with my photos. Kind of like, oh yeah, I remember these guys growing up, and so yeah, just kind of like just enjoy doing it.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, well, thanks again, man. It's been awesome. And everyone who's been here, thank you so much for watching and liking and stuff like that. And you guys are amazing. So everyone have a great night. Have a great rest of the week. And John, again, thank you very much, sir. And I'll see you on the other side.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
See ya.
Bye.